And when I YouTubed Baha'i faith, the first thing that popped up was the Rainn Wilson video on it. So that's my limited knowledge on the Baha'i faith. But
Sure.
for those who haven't watched that great video, Dean, do you mind kind of jumping in and letting us know a little bit about your faith? And
Sure. I mean, there's probably several ways you could describe any religion, right? But I would summarize the Baha'i faith that it's the most recent of the world religions. It's approximately 175 years old. Started in what we generally refer to as Persia, but is actually modern day Iran. And, as a side note, well, Baha'is don't always say this, but I personally feel it's appropriate to say it's in the Abrahamic religion family. Abrahamic meaning Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, because the Baha'i faith accepts all of those previous revelations that came also. And all those religions also started kind of in that same general area of the world, which I find to be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That area of the world has been such a central place for the beginning of religions, for major religions.
I agree.
Yeah, so it started about 175 years ago. And one thing that's pretty unique is that the Baha'i faith says there's really like two founders to the religion. And the best analogy people give usually is how there was John the Baptist in Christianity, who was quite popular in his own right, but he kept saying, I'm really not that important. I'm not even fit, I believe, to carry the sandals of he who's going to come after me. And that's very similar to what happened in the Baha'i faith. There was a man who had some minimal education, but at some point he started announcing that he was bringing forth a new religion. And his given name was Syed Ali Muhammad, and the Syed part, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, in that area of the world, it meant that he was a descendant of Muhammad.
Okay.
And that's just a title, I think. I hope I'm getting this correct, but I think that's correct. And he started saying that he was bringing a new revelation, and eventually, but he repeatedly said at some point that he also was not fit kind of to carry the sandals of who was going to come after him. And he referred to that person as he whom God shall make manifest, was just like the phraseology that was used at that time. And he founded his own religion. So that was his given name, but just like Jesus was the birth name of Jesus, he got the title, the Christ or the Messiah. And so this person took on the name the Bab, which is, to English hearers that may sound a little strange, but in Persian or Arabic, that means the gate.
Oh, okay.
And people took that to mean that he was the gateway to this new other person. This that tends to be how the Baha'is now understand it. And yet he founded his own religion actually at that time period that actually was quite successful. And it was called Babism, actually.
Oh, so it was a separate religion.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it was originally a separate religion. And then eventually he was martyred. And as we kind of know from other religious histories, these people who say they're bringing God's revelation, whether that's Moses or Elijah or Jesus or whoever, they tend not to make a lot of friends in the religious establishment or the government establishment, right?
Right.
And definitely the Bab at that time period, he definitely made enemies in the government and in the religious establishment. And so eventually they executed him. But his religion did continue on for a while, and one of his followers, I can't remember his exact given name, but the primary founder of the Baha'i faith is known as Baha'u'llah, which is kind of hard to pronounce. But
yeah, I saw that name a few times while I was researching Baha'i. And I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know how to say. Yeah, I was trying to pronounce it, but I'm
Yeah.
glad that you were able to say it.
Right, Baha'u'llah. But I know I'm not doing it to the correct like Persian pronunciation, but that's as good
Okay.
as I get. But if you look at like some of the Old Testament names, like what Habakkuk and some of
Yeah.
these kind of names that we're now kind of used to, but they wouldn't have been if it wasn't common in our society, right?
Right.
Right.
So yeah, some of the names sound a little foreign because well they are. But a lot of Jewish and Israeli names, I think, sounded foreign, to us when we maybe first heard them. So that title, similar to like Messiah, meaning the chosen one, or Baha'u'llah, the translation for that literally means the glory of God.
Okay.
And the Bahai, so there's a lot of derivatives then of this word, Baha or Bahai. And so Baha'i generally kind of means follower of glory.
Okay.
Just like a
Interesting.
Christian is a follower of Christ.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
it's similar in that way. That's where the word Baha'i comes from. And there's these other derivatives of kind of the meaning of glory, I guess. So at the time, Baha'u'llah was actually a member of the Bab's religion also when the Bab was martyred. And eventually he took over leadership of that religion. And but everyone was looking for this person, he whom God shall make manifest, because they knew the Bab kept saying, like, no, mine is going to end. My religion is only very temporary. What I'm sharing with you, like I said, again, kind of like John the Baptist. And eventually, Baha'u'llah said, yes, I am that person. And then he established his own religion, but heavily based on what the Bab had already established.